So, what's the secret sauce that makes a church community not just survive, but truly thrive? All right, let's dive into it and unpack the 5 foundational pillars that can absolutely transform a congregation.
It really all starts with a single crucial moment. Think about it for a second. A person walks through your doors for the very first time. What is it in that first hour that makes them think, yeah, I want to come back here? Well, the answer is way more intentional than you might think. To really get this, we've got to shift our perspective a little. A first-time visit isn't just some one-off event. It's the very first step on a potential journey. And the churches that are really crushing it, they're the ones who have intentionally mapped out that path, guiding a person from feeling like a total stranger to feeling like family.
And that right there brings us to our very first pillar, that all-important first impression. This is it. This is where the journey either takes off or just fizzles out, and it's all built on a foundation of what we'll call radical hospitality.
Now, what's so important here is the emphasis on shared responsibility. This is so much more than just having a friendly greeter team at the door, right? It's about a cultural mindset where every single member feels a sense of ownership in making newcomers feel genuinely seen and truly welcomed.
All right, so how do you actually do this? Well, here's a brilliant practical tool, the 10-foot rule. The whole idea is to train everyone to look for that person with the look, the deer in the headlights expression, someone who's new and maybe a little lost. If they're within 10 feet of you, you simply offer a warm greeting. It's simple, it's proactive, and honestly, it's all about intentionally breaking down that invisible social barrier that so often keeps people feeling isolated.
And this principle isn't some newfangled idea. It's ancient. It's deeply rooted. This wisdom reminds us that hospitality is more than just being nice. It's a sacred act of welcoming the other, and that has profound significance.
Okay, so once someone feels welcome, what's next? Well, now you've got to help them understand what's happening. A lack of clear communication can be a huge roadblock on their journey.
This is a perfect illustration of a critical point. Don't just announce the what. You always have to explain the why. Announcing a change just creates questions and confusion. But explaining the purpose behind it, the vision, well, that builds trust and invites people to be part of the mission.
So, the crucial thing here is consistency. To make sure everyone feels informed and included, your message has to be clear and it has to be repeated across multiple channels. It's like you're creating a whole communication ecosystem where hopefully no one falls through the cracks.
This brings us to a really pivotal stage in the journey, intentional discipleship. In simple terms, this is all about helping people grow and deepen their connection to the community. So, the big question is, how do you help them move from being a passive attendee to an active, integrated member?
A thriving church creates clear next steps. You can't just hope people get connected, you have to build a pathway. This could look like a newcomer brunch, an easy on-ramp to join a small group, or a simple short-term volunteer role. The goal is to move people from just sitting in a row to actually circling up with others.
And here's the thing. True integration really happens when people feel that their contribution is not just helpful, but necessary. The ultimate aim is to help people discover their unique gifts and then find a place to use them. That's the moment they move from being a consumer to being a co-owner of the community.
Okay, let's talk about those invisible structures that can make or break the journey. Operational excellence. Now, this isn't about being all corporate and stuffy. It's about removing unnecessary friction so people can connect with what truly matters. Here's a perfect example. Having a clear standard, like following up with every first-time visitor within 24 to 48 hours, sends a powerful message. It says, "We saw you and you matter to us." It's a small detail that makes a huge difference.
What's interesting about this is that often the leaders are the very last to know what's not working. Is the website confusing? Is the children's check-in process a mess? The only way to find these clunky blind spots is to create feedback loops and actively ask for input from everyone, from the newest visitor to the most long-standing member. It's really about having the humility to listen.
This leads us to our final pillar, and this one's all about long-term health. You can do the first 4 pillars perfectly, but if people don't feel valued over the long haul, the community just isn't going to be sustainable.
A culture of honor is built on mutual respect. It's about leadership actively appreciating volunteers, being accessible and willing to listen, and fostering an environment where members are devoted to one another. Honor isn't just about saying thank you, it's about genuinely seeing and affirming the value each person brings. Believe me, a happy volunteer is the best advertisement for a healthy church.
So as we wrap up, here's the final thought. Every church, every community has strengths and weaknesses. So looking at these 5 pillars, hospitality, communication, discipleship, operations, and honor, which one is your solid foundation? And more importantly, which one is calling out for your attention right now?